Road parking sparks brawl. Body of Falcon pilot arrives in Port Moresby. And hundreds turn up for 2018 Paws Walk.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Sunday's news. As early as 5 a.m. this morning, a fight broke out between 5 Mile residents and guards of security firm Black Swan International. A resident told EMTV News the fight escalated after a resident was pulling out of the driveway when a Black Swan vehicle pulled in front, refusing to give way. This led to exchange of fists as members of the security firm and residents joined. A number of casualties, some with severe wounds, were taken to the hospital.
A number of casualties from Black Swan International and residents of 5 Mile community were taken to the hospital. Residents say this is not the first time the fight has broken out between the community and securities of Black Swan International. 5 Mile resident Lina Jero, who witnessed her husband attacked by Black Swan security, says the fight erupted after Black Swan vehicle parked in front of her husband's car refused to give way. The incident escalated after her husband and son received severe wounds to their bodies in retaliation.
Now master me like driving go out long him. Only can block him now. Talk him all move him car no money talk swear. Talk Black Swan mania come talk swear now. Papa come out say talk no got Black Swan mania fight him. Papa now boy blow me come inside now to play fight go now okay. All public go talk him all line blong him law. All Black Swan he come down now fight him oh got a mangi blow me now. Now amas pla think for pla mangi blow me more kissing bagrap now list allow sick.
She claims the security company parking their vehicles on the main road makes it hard for road users and residents. She says most times about 20 to 30 vehicles of Black Swan are parked on one lane of the road, blocking the road and causing traffic congestion.
Over the time since Black Swan come inside Lohia, car park problem lol. Over the time also passing one road there, parking all car na. Also stop him, cause him problem inside the community where mipla line got car, mipla hard lo paki car good or mama market too, hard lo mipla sit around good because also come spin him car or some one freeway. So now mipla got big problem at them Black Swan. Black Swan come now all in that event where all fight, all cause him all injuries. Triple man now all start out sick lo 3 Mile emergency theater all. Cause damage to the residential areas, ogara mipla mama market lo table, ogara boys book table blumpla want them chair all burukim. Mipla experience one black and fight or some antalo islands or trouble fight. Ogara islands or simple stick stone all can fight one them mipla, especially these all Black Swan employees. Now even fire him 6 black gunshots lo mipla all civilians lo here lo community. So mipla no like him Black Swan he lo put him all car blow lo here lo pack him inside lo here because this like public road na residential area.
Police Task Force Commander Inspector Mark Mosina Kave was present to calm both sides of the argument. He says a meeting will be called next week to address the issue.
The community told me that, the Black Swan, the company which operates next to them, usually park their car in the middle of the road, blocking off the traffic, and to most cases their driveway has been blocked all the time. So they've talked to Black Swan to remove their vehicles, and I think it happened for some time, and then I think this is the 4th incident that from what they told me. Conversation with the community, they said that the Black Swan assaulted them. And then in retaliation, they fought with the Black Swan, and then more of Black Swan members came and then assaulted the community, people in the community, and the community retaliated by throwing stones, and then there were so many casualties on both sides, including Black Swan and the community at 5 Mile. I also went to Black Swan, talked to them about the incident, and they have given their side of the story. So they came to us about the drunkards, and the 5 Mile community retaliated and assaulted them again. So that's where the problem started.
Community Representative Iso Limlim is appealing to NCD Governor Powes Pakop, member for Moresby North East John Cowper, and Black Swan International to negotiate a possible relocation.
Okay, 4 times. This is the incident I'm coming one month back. So now planning man simba. So 4 times I was from losing life. So security company big size belongen. In feet no stable street. So we appeal enough Pablo company can put him in one good location where we can freely move around operating business flow. Okay, now we talk finalize to talk on them police chief. Also Tuesday we bung here.
Black Swan International was asked to speak on camera but refused to comment. Godwin Eki, National, MTV News.
A new website has been launched to preserve the memories and stories of Papua New Guineans during World War II. Voices from the War is an oral history collection of interviews with men and women from 6 provinces in Papua New Guinea about their own or their relatives' experiences of the war. The Oral History Project and website was developed by Deakin University in collaboration with Papua New Guinea's National Museum and Art Gallery. There are 156 interviews in total representing different aspects of the war's impact on Papua New Guinea and its people. The interviews were conducted in Milne Bay, Moresby Central, New Ireland, Northern and the National Capital District. The website was launched on International Museum Day recently. Over 230 participants and 28 dogs turned up for the annual Paws Walk 2018 in Port Moresby this morning. This year's event, hosted by Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, or RSPCA, falls in line with RSPCA Australia's Million Paws Walk 2018. Money raised from this event will go towards supporting RSPCA PNG's education, awareness and animal care campaigns.
Individuals, friends, families and their dogs gathered early this morning at Moresby Arts Theatre for RSPCA's annual Paws Walk 2018. Over 25 dogs and their handlers walked the 3.4 kilometers marked route. Others joined in for a fun morning walk with friends.
It's a day for awareness of the value of having pets in your life. So it's obviously healthy for you because you get out and you walk your dog, but it's also the calming effect that reduces blood pressure, does all sorts of wonderful things for you by having a pet in your life.
They started the walk at Moresby Arts Theatre to Magani Crescent through John Guy's Drive and back to Moresby Arts Theatre. Most of the dogs were pretty fit, while other dogs saw it as a hard morning workout. There were many water stations along the way as the dogs stopped to lap a drink before continuing on their journey.
Like a baby's bottle. It's
Sarah Berryman and her sister Maggie, both aged 8 and 5, also participated in the Paws Walk with their mother. They thoroughly enjoyed the walk with their dogs.
We had to get up really early to get a dog, and we walked and we did some exercises, and then we walked with the dogs.
All monies raised from this event will go towards supporting RSPCA PNG's education, awareness and animal care campaigns in which they teach school-aged children about responsible pet ownership and wildlife conservation.
Australia are running their Million Paws Walk today. So we now are part of the global thing, which I think is absolutely fantastic, and it's wonderful to be able to tell them that we are supporting what they do and they support what we do as well.
Lilian Soperakinea, National, MTV News.
The Humanville Primary School is set to resume classes on Monday following the completion of 6 temporary classrooms. The classrooms were built over 2 months after the Building Board and the PNG Fire Service condemned the existing classrooms for being structurally unsafe.
The last 2 piles of gravel are being shoveled into a wheelbarrow. This is for the floors for the temporary classrooms. The number of parents who came this morning were few, but the work is continuing steadily. As teachers and parents carry one of the blackboards into the classrooms, there is a feeling of satisfaction. 2 months ago, 1,400 students were sent home. The building board declared the existing classrooms unsafe and closed part of the school. Parents and teachers went to work. They raised up to 20,000 kina and began building these classrooms. They didn't know where the rest of the money was going to come from, but help came from various sources, including a donation by Barlow Industries. Then, after much publicity, the provincial government gave 100,000 kina in emergency funding.
Ano sa mo last kilo papa malo come help him na walk in classroom now. Giman blamina. He can walk.
Tomorrow, students will resume after 2 months out of school. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Ley.
Now overseas, the thousands of people around the world who didn't get an invitation to the wedding held their own celebrations on Saturday. In Windsor, England, massive crowds lined the streets hoping to see the royal family entering the castle grounds, and some of them were asked to sum up their thoughts in just one word.
One word, amazing.
Unbelievable.
Emotional.
Magic.
Fantastic.
Будьте счастливы.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Phenomenal. It's just cool.
Lovely. Great.
Sensational.
Lovely.
Fantastic.
Back in the U.S., where Meghan Markle is from, fans got up very early to celebrate. This is in New York, where some trekked out to a bar to watch the ceremony. In Johannesburg, South Africa, fans enjoyed the royal wedding from a big screen with traditional scones and cupcakes with Union flags in them, I'm told.
Social media was flooded with thousands of congratulatory messages on the royal wedding of Prince Harry and Princess Meghan Markle. A good number of them were posted by Facebook users in Papua New Guinea who watched the live coverage of the royal wedding at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle in London.
The wedding of Prince Harry and Princess Meghan has been described as a fairy tale, more beautiful than a Hollywood movie. In the final 12 hours leading up to the royal wedding, there were millions, if not billions, of social media users around the world posting complimentary remarks of the royal couple. International news agencies ran special programs and commentaries of the royal wedding. As reported by the ABC News, this coverage attracted billions of viewers all around the world. In Papua New Guinea, most people watched the royal wedding on NBC TV, while those who had access to the internet watched it online. According to the commentaries from the BBC News, the wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Princess Meghan, had a smaller crowd present to witness the wedding, but the followers online were estimated to be in the billions, much more greater than the wedding of Prince Harry's older brother, Prince William, and Princess Kate in 2012. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
You're with Sunday's News. Stay tuned for more stories coming up after the break. Welcome back to the news. PNG's Falcon 900 Yak Jet captain Vincent Kipma passed away last Sunday after a sudden illness. He's Air New Guinea's only captain for the Falcon jet that is used as the official carrier for prime ministers. His body arrived in Port Moresby from Brisbane this week.
Late Captain Vincent Kipma arrived at Jackson's International Airport for the last time. His body was escorted by his wife Karen Kipma and colleague pilots. Waiting at the airport VIP car park was his 6 children and other Air New Guinea staff who had gathered to pay their respect. Late Captain Kipma joined Air Niugini in 1996 under Air Niugini Cadet Program. He began flying as a first officer on the Dash 8 and later to the F-28, Falcon 100, Boeing 767, and in his last 8 years as the captain for the Prime Minister's official carrier, the Falcon jet. Air Niugini, in a condolence message, said he was a dedicated, loyal and committed employee of Air Niugini who served for over 20 years. Adelaide Xerox Kari, National, EMTV News.
Economy members of the APEC Group of Friends on Disability attended their 4th annual meeting yesterday here in Port Moresby as a lead-up to the 2nd Senior Officials meeting. APEC aims to achieve disability-inclusive developments across all its member economies and across all sectors.
According to the National Disability Resource and Advocacy Centre, approximately 975,000 Papua New Guineans are living with some form of disability or impairment. Of this group, about 2% or 19,500 people receive services. This means that the remaining 98% do not receive any support, ultimately rendering life very difficult. To rectify this, the GOFD met to discuss development agendas to assist these people. The working group have resolved to advancing economic, financial and social inclusion for people living with disabilities.
Before, we always regard disability issues as political issues or social issues, but sometimes, their economic empowerment is neglected. We hope that we could enhance their economic empowerment. Based on that, based on their economic empowerment and independence, people with disabilities will have a foundation or basis for their getting included into the mainstream society.
Leanne National EMTV News.
Michael Dua has assisted the Gumini district in Simbu province in shipping goods and a Toyota Land Cruiser to the staff of the Gumini Community Correctional Centre. The goods have been sitting at the Motukea port in Port Moresby for over 3 years and have now finally been cleared for shipment in the next 24 hours.
This wide variety of goods have been sitting in a shipping container. The goods belong to the Humanville Kips Centre in Simbu province. It will now be finally shipped to land, before being transported by truck up the Highlands Highway to Gumini.
When my officers were doing a check-up with the CIS head office to check on some funding and all these things, and we came across these materials. And basically, these things will enhance our workers to perform. But it has not gone up to Simbu for and our people have been deprived, especially the CIS workers.
Simbu Governor Michael Dua is the man who made the arrangements possible for the correctional service staff in his district to have access to this basic service that they should have had access to 3 years ago.
Our previous regimes, our leaders would have done it. They have a lot of money and they should have taken these things across. And it was not done, especially there for people of Gumini.
The governor says transporting the containers to the Highlands province and to Simbu is his #1 priority at the moment, and he will continue to follow up on similar shipments that are now overdue.
So we are here now trying to make arrangements so that this must be sent to be in the province, so that our people deserve the best. Simbus are not better, they are good people, they deserve the best.
In thanking the governor, Correctional Service Senior Technical Officer for Facilities and Assets Management, Senior Sergeant P.Z. Kuye, said financial constraints have stalled their efforts to get the cargo to Gumini.
Since we have been in the financial constraints, and we encountered so many problems to airlift it or transport these, whatever I said, the back to Gumini Road Lockup.
PZ also took time to apologize to the staff serving at the Gumini Community Correctional Centre for the delay.
On behalf of Correctional Services and the staff of Barawagi and Gumini, I sincerely apologize for the delays that has.
In light of that, the governor is determined to crack down on the misuse of provincial and district service improvement program funds, PSIP and DSIP funds by past leaders.
Last week, mikarim fire service ko punis all officers ko ground work punis in a long time bal ko base lo kundiawa mi plan lo architecture lo police to go na punis all staff lo process lo working on document lo police station na jona center lo barawagin silakan na all silakan lili something it has to go all people maki mi plan working lo lili something so that the people get the maximum benefit.
Shane Soroya, National, EMTV News.
An estimated 50 to 60,000 Filipino rice farmers will be coming to PNG for rice production. This is a part of a bilateral agreement with the Philippines that was signed during Prime Minister Peter O'Neill's state visit in Manila recently. Philippines media reported the Agriculture Secretary Manuel Pinol announcing the agreement signed by Agriculture Minister Benny Allen.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and state ministers met with Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte for the state visit. During the state dinner, President Rodrigo said that PNG and Philippines have deepened ties, particularly in increasing an environment of trade and investment in the agriculture and fisheries sector. Mr. O'Neill said PNG is increasing cooperation in areas such as agriculture and education, and the bonds between the people will continue to grow. This was what was given by the Prime Minister's media unit, but what wasn't reported is now being reported by the Philippines media. Philippines medias are reporting that a bilateral agreement done by the Philippines and PNG government to set up a rice model farm equipped with modern farming technology to help develop PNG's rice industry, along with 50 to 60,000 Filipinos to help establish the rice farm. They quote the Philippines Agriculture Secretary Emmanuel Pinol, saying that the farm will be set up by both governments, but a private company will be brought in to manage it. Pinol also says 30,000 hectares of land has been already made available for the rice farm. A part of the agreement is that once PNG has self-sufficient rice flow, excess rice will be exported to the Philippines and other surrounding Pacific Island nation. EMTV has contacted the Prime Minister's office and a response is expected tomorrow. Adelaide Siraks Kari, National, EMTV News.
Don't go away. Stories making headlines overseas when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Turning overseas, 10 people have been killed and another 10 are wounded after a teenager opened fire in a Texas school. The 17-year-old suspect is now in custody. He told police he spared the people he liked and he meant to kill the ones he targeted.
Tonight, America is grappling with another school shooting. This time, it was Santa Fe High School in Texas.
He first opened fire with a shotgun in which he shot one of my other friends in the head, and her body fell down not too far away from where I was under the table.
9 students and a teacher were killed, 10 others wounded.
And next thing you know, everybody looks and you hear boom, 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 and I just ran as fast as I could.
Was there a part of you that was like, this isn't real, this would not happen in my school?
No, there wasn't.
Why so?
It's been happening everywhere. I've always kind of felt like eventually it was going to happen here too.
It's become a sad reality for students and parents in this country.
I immediately turned around. I said, I'm coming. I stayed on the phone with her the whole time.
By 9 a.m, the gunman was in custody, but it wasn't over yet.
There have been explosive devices found in the high school and surrounding areas adjacent to the high school.
The student allegedly behind the attack is 17-year-old Dimitrios Pargoutsis. He has no previous criminal record, but students say he wore this T-shirt as he stormed the school using a .38 revolver and a shotgun which belonged to his father. And he detailed plans for his suicidal massacre extensively in his journal, also telling police that he didn't kill people he liked because he wanted his story to be told. In Washington, D.C., President Trump addressed the tragedy, the 5th mass shooting of his presidency.
May God heal the injured and may God comfort the wounded and may God be with the victims and with the victims' families.
Trump has refused to change gun laws in the US despite mass calls for stricter controls. And this shooting will reignite the debate, those defending the right to bear arms gathering outside the school immediately following the attack.
Make America great again.
By doing what? What was your plan of action?
Offering support. God bless you all, will go a long ways right now for a lot of people.
This guy right here saying making America great does not make America great, walking down the street carrying a flag with a pistol when we just had a shooting.
And if history is a guide, today's school shooting may fuel the debate further, but it's unlikely to result in stricter gun laws.
Plane carrying Cuban and international passengers has crashed just after takeoff from Havana's Jose Marti Airport. Witnesses say it came down on a nearby farm and exploded on impact. It's believed 104 people were on board the plane, including passengers and crew. 101 people are reported to have been killed and only 3 have survived. That's despite witnesses heading to the scene almost immediately.
The moment of impact sending a community into chaos.
This is catastrophic. This should never happen. One never imagined something like this.
School children watching and recording from their classroom. Locals racing to where a Boeing 737 went down in a field just moments after takeoff from Havana's international airport.
This is a terrible tragedy. Imagine. We are very emotional.
Emergency crews facing carnage. There were over 100 passengers and several crew members on board. Here's just one of the 3 survivors being carried out.
We have to wait. The news is not very promising because a lot of people seem to have died. That's why, in the name of the government and the party, I express our condolences.
This is Cuba's worst plane crash since the 1980s. It was a domestic flight run by Cuba's state airline, with the plane leased from a Mexican firm on a short route from the west to the east of the island.
It would suggest that something catastrophic happened either on the takeoff roll or right after, as the aircraft was lifting into the air. Perhaps an engine failure, perhaps a controllability issue.
The airline had already grounded many of its own aircraft due to maintenance issues. Now investigators will be looking at the maintenance record of the plane that went down and listening to the black boxes on board to find out if this tragedy could have been avoided.
Environmentalists say China's ban on foreign waste is the wake-up call we need to get smart about managing our rubbish. Mountains of paper and plastic are building up in recycling centres around New Zealand after the world's biggest recycling market shut its doors.
Just south of Thames is a city of plastic, a sprawling wasteland growing daily.
We're at a crisis point and, to be honest, we don't know what to do.
This isn't all of it. Inside, heap after heap of milk bottles, bags, paper, cardboard, altogether 4,000 tonnes. A national shame we used to send overseas, out of sight, out of mind. Not anymore. China decided it would no longer be the world's dumping ground, leaving Graham Christian with this mess.
And I've been to multiple sites throughout the country and we've all got the same problem.
Graham has contracts with councils in Thames, Coromandel, Waikato and Rotorua. He's now scrambling to find other countries to sell to, but the market's flooded and the values plummeted. He has to act fast. The stockpile spilling outside is becoming dangerous. A fire tore through the plant 3 weeks ago.
I think it's a real strong signal that our recycling system is fundamentally broken.
Last year, we exported more than 20,000 tonnes of waste plastic to China. It was by far our biggest market. And other markets are predicted to close too.
We need to have more onshore processing facilities in New Zealand. The Waste Minimisation Fund has enabled some companies, but we need more.
Experts say we need to move towards a circular economy, with schemes where manufacturers are encouraged to make good quality materials that can be reused and easily recycled.
Manufacturers contribute to a fund which helps to fund the end-of-life costs of the materials, things like container deposit schemes where there's a cost built in up front, and when you take that material back you get a refund.
The Associate Environment Minister admits we're behind, but says the government's now urgently speaking with councils and contractors to develop a response. In the meantime, there's something we can all do.
Stop using plastic.
Surprising from a man whose business isn't just that. But Graham says some things are more important.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll take a look at what's happening in sports. In Trukai Sports up next.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Port Moresby Corporate Touch Football concluded its round 1 game of the season today with high energy from the participants despite the scorching heat. Competition's operations manager Jerry Borg is expecting the competition to intensify in the coming weeks as the race to top each respective division peaks.
At around midday, out in the scorching heat, the dusty turf and a lot of shouting, the Corporate Touch Football continues to play their normal round 1 matches, just on the verge of wrapping up their game 8 of the season. With an overwhelming increase in the number of participating teams in all 5 divisions, the games are spread out on 3 allocated fields, with each division taking turns to play out their matches.
We have a lot of national reps in the competition, especially in CTPM alone. We have a big number in the country making the national squad.
In one of the women's matches, Transport and IRC played their best, but Transport was the better side, crossing over the line with 5 tries, while IRC managed only 1. In Field 2, Vepunama was too fast and critical in attack, running in 5 tries but failed to defend their line, allowing NMSA 3 tries and eventually hung on to win the match. Field 3 was a fairly contested match between IEA and Kutmo. However, Kutmo showed resilience in the final minutes, edging out IEA 3-2. Meanwhile, Competition Operations Manager Jerry Borg said while the updated points ladder is being finalized by technical officials, they will no longer accept any more teams or players crossing over from one team to another.
We are close now. We're already in game 8 in round 1, so we are close now. We're not accepting any more players unless there's a space or any gap in some of the teams that need more players to come in.
Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
The Southern Conference 7-a-side soccer tournament ended with the finals playoff today at the PNG Football Stadium in Port Moresby. Wantok's coach Erickson Komang sees this competition as a stepping stone for young players who are keen to develop their skills and advance in their football career.
The Football Federation PNG endorsed competition drew over 30 teams contesting for the ultimate prize of being crowned champions of the Southern Conference 7s tournament. The matches were split into 2 categories consisted of the men's and women's teams, slotted into pools A, B, C and D respectively. Erickson Komang, Wantok's coach, is one of the household names in the league and has guided his team through many victories. Komang said the competition may have its critics, but it's beneficial for those who are actively involved in the code. The players.
Definitely, if they keep playing positive football, I don't see any doubt national coaches can select young talents here. So definitely, if they keep playing good football and discipline and keep praising God about their talent, I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be left out. So definitely.
The involvement of some of the familiar faces in football in the country, such as former couples captain David Muta and star defender Korea Kupaiga, has somewhat motivated the aspiring youngsters who once looked upon these players as icons of the game.
Just some of my youth players just told me it's a privilege to play against or play with David Muta and Korea. So you can see the way they're thinking, lifting our standard. So hopefully I can use FC Wantoks to lift the standard in our competition, yes, all the clubs can rise with us. So,
being a former PNG international and Hekari great, Komang believes that the domestic tournaments kept consistent will toughen the competition and raise the profile of the code in PNG.
We just need to develop our stars, our young kids, and that's the only way we can help grow football in our country. So, me and David Muta, with the help of Mr. and Ms. Nato, we're trying to develop under 7, under 10s, under 12. So if your kid, your kids can play, please bring them along and to our training camp so we can help them build them.
Meanwhile, the Southern Conference 7s tournament concluded its first leg with the finals playoff this afternoon. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Still on football, Team Wellington is Oceania's premier international champion after overcoming Fiji's Lautoka FC in the OFC Champions Final second leg in Fiji this afternoon. The New Zealand side will finally have their name inscribed on the OFC Champions League trophy after thumping Lautoka 10-3 on aggregate over 2 legs in the final of the O-League.
Today's win was a matter of course for the 3-time OFC runners-up Team Wellington, who had done all they can to book a spot in the FIFA World Club Challenge. Team Wellington continued on their dominance over Lautoka, scoring 4 goals despite Lautoka's comeback, netting an impressive 3 goals at full time. Lautoka's second-half comeback was pleasing for coach Kamal Swami to witness as he saw the fighting spirit return to his charges. However, at the full-time whistle, Team Wellington was the better side, with a win that qualified them for the FIFA Club World Cups in United Arab Emirates, where they will meet the winner of the UAE Arabian Gulf League. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
You're watching Trukai Sports. We'll have more for you after these messages.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To volleyball, Port Moresby's corporate volleyball competition saw its pool finals today at the Tarama Aquatic Centre. EMTV Sports arrived in time to see 3 of today's matches.
The women's match between BNBM and NCDC saw NCDC getting off to a great start with a 25-20 win in the first set. The second set still played out in NCD's favour, though this time a bigger margin was recorded with a 25-17 scoreline. BNBM knew losing the third set will end the match badly for them, and so they turned the tables this time with a 25-19 scoreline. But having already lost the first 2 sets, BNBM still didn't have the upper hand. NCD came back stronger in the fourth set, giving BNBM a 25-12 beating, sending them out of the competition. Meanwhile, the match between PNG Ports and CPL saw CPL taking out its opponent in a 3 consecutive sets win. The first set saw a 25-21 scoreline, and the second set saw some challenge from PNG Ports as every score was counted until the last 2 services, which saw CPL recording a 28-26 win. And maintaining the good form, CPL went on to secure the last set 25-23. And in the men's finals, BNBM got another beating again, this time by BSP in what was a swift execution on BSP's part. BSP recorded a 25-12 win in the first set, followed by a 25-19 win, and stamping out their opponent with the final set scoreline of 25-17. The Cup Grand Final next Sunday will see winners from this pool final. Dinarose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
Still on Port Moresby's corporate volleyball competition, with the competition nearing its end, selections have already been made for one of the national championships coming up. POMS CVC Vice President Henry Aika says they will be sending at least 5 teams to compete. The Port Moresby Northeast Schools Rugby competition entered round 3 this afternoon. 26 schools from Moresby Northeast have entered this program. Elijah Lavette with more.
Schools in Port Moresby's Northeast Electorate have been taking part in the school's rugby development program, which was launched last year. The tournament takes place every weekend at the Unagi Oval at 5 Mile. Many students from different schools in the electorate gather at the 5 Mile Oval to take part in the development program. The 3 electorates in the nation's capital run separate tournaments.
But we also have 2 other zones, that is Moresby Northwest. All the schools in Moresby Northwest are playing at the Gary Primary School level. And all the schools down in Moresby South, including Modokweda schools, are using the St. Williams Gate Oval, Calgary, Oval number 2, so yeah.
From this school's rugby program, players are selected into the zone team.
We are doing the selection for the inter-provincial trial, which will be held in the term 2 of break at Zongai Stadium. So yeah, basically this is what's going on, and then the program itself is a very important one.
There are 3 splits in the male division, under 14, under 16 and under 18, while the women have an open division. Funding has been a problem for the tournament coordinators as they lack necessary equipment such as goalpost pads and markers for the fields.
After this collection of teams' money, I give that money to the outside people, and then they go and then they cut this bamboo post you can see there. You see it's a goalpost. And then we still need people to come and support us. Parents out there, sponsors, corporate sponsors out there.
The field of play has also become an issue as the uneven surface has seen many children encounter injuries.
Right now we see there's no grass, and we also have some rocks and some bricks within the playing field. So the couple of times we come across, what you should know is that we need to have people sponsor to come here, and then maybe they can dig out those rocks or bricks that are hidden within the playing ground there, and this is where the risk is.
Ground I'm strong, so I must miss a play them, so I feel I'm normal now.
Last time I played mixed I'm now I'm normal straight.
Elijah Levet, National MTV Sports.
To the NRL, the Warriors have run hot and cold in beating the Parramatta Eels 24-14 in Sydney. The injury-weakened Auckland outfit blew a 10-point lead, struggling the third quarter, only to storm home.
It took just 10 minutes for David Fusitua to pull out his trademark corner dive.
Fusitua flying in the corner.
His 12th try giving him a share of the NRL lead this season, and it was then Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's replacement that somehow found the try line.
A little slip now, he's going to slip all the way through.
Their launch pad was set, but the Warriors never took off, with Isaiah Papali'i sin-binned before the break.
It's a penalty and 10 in the bin. They have lost one.
That setback giving the bottom of the table Eels belief in the second half.
Now, running crossfield and linking with Ma'u. They're level the Eels.
The Warriors side of old may have completely flopped, but Jazz Tavanga pounced on the bobbling ball, and then Isaac Luke showed his renewed strength to seal the match.
To finish it all off. Has he got the speed in there?
We could have made it a lot easier for ourselves, but in saying that, been part of teams that have lost those kind of games.
Their fourth win in 5 games in Australia, keeping the Warriors in third place.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details coming up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow, in the southern region mostly fine in Port Moresby. Daru fine with windy conditions, few showers tonight in Kerma and Alotau and a shower or two in Popondita. In the Mamasa region, few showers tonight, then fine in Leh, mostly fine in Wewak, Medang and Banimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, few showers in Lorengau and Kavieng, mostly fine in Rabaul, Kokopo, Kimbe and Buka. And in the Highlands region, few showers tonight, then early morning fog in all centres.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's been Sunday's news from the entire news crew. Pleasant viewing and good night.